Fight on family, Preston's Paradise here. Another episode of Trench Talk where I'm going to talk about some of these 2026 offensive linemen that USC is in the mix for. Some good news, some exciting things going on with that class. So I'm going to get into that. But before I start, just want to speak on the fact of, the direction that this channel is going. When I created Preston's Paradise as a channel, I just really wanted to talk about things that I love, things I was passionate about. Obviously, USC football, something that I love, that, brought me so much joy in my life. I've spoken on it on this channel multiple times. But at this point, it is the off season. There's a lot of things I'd like to talk about. And I love basketball. I played basketball before I played football. My dad coached college basketball for years and years and years. Know a lot about the game and want to cover it and want to speak on certain things, right? So from now on, this point forward, going to be posting a lot of different videos on this channel having to do with various subjects, all in the sports world. Maybe things on certain programs, certain, things that go on in the landscape of college football, as well as basketball, the NBA, specifically the Los Angeles Lakers, and maybe even some college basketball stuff. So just saying that, moving forward, man, I appreciate all you guys, support all year and up to this point, man. It's been awesome. The subs, the comments, the likes, just the familiar faces that I've come to see on this channel, man. It's awesome, and I can't thank you guys enough. So, only rightfully so, I let you guys know moving forward. I hope everybody sticks around. If you don't, God bless you, man. I appreciate the support. And yeah, man, let's get into it. Trench Talk. All right, another episode of Trench Talk. Going to talk about two big-time 2026 offensive linemen. One, USC already has a crystal ball from Vlad Diakhnevov out of Folsom. Also going to talk about Malachi Lee. In the mix for Malachi Lee, but hey, man, it's going to be a fight. We got Alabama in the mix, Texas, all the big-time programs, Michigan. But have been building relationships and look to be in a pretty good spot when it comes to Malachi Lee, big offensive tackle out of the state of Hawaii. So let's check in some information and see what these guys are all about. All right, when you look at USC's 2026 recruiting class right now, obviously a great class, got tons of talented players. Number 3 overall class on 24/7 Sports. Number 2 overall on On3, right? But you're missing, big boys. You're missing offensive linemen. Nobody in this class yet that is an offensive lineman. So that's where I get into Vlad Diakhnevov out of Folsom, right? Vlad, big time. This is like prototype, NFL offensive lineman, offensive tackle size, 6'6". I think he's around 270 right now at the offensive tackle position. Currently a top 30 offensive tackle in the class. And look at some of this film, look at a guy like Vlad, only going to get bigger, being only around 270 right now at 6'7", but a violent offensive lineman. Seen him play right tackle as well as left tackle on film, and just loves finishing blocks and and pancaking dudes every play. He's a finisher, and he's a great puller. That was in Lincoln Riley's offense, man. We love to pull these big offensive linemen around that corner, create the convoy, and you see him finish it right here, man, creating the convoy, and he's really kind of going backwards and just to embarrass that kid a little bit, but this is exactly the type of athletes that we need, on that offensive line. And him in particular, currently have the crystal ball. He was riding around campus wearing the USC beanie in the weight room with the USC beanie weeks ago. Everybody's hype. We really believe he's going to be a Trojan. But you can't let guys like this escape to the SEC or to the Pacific Northwest or, to the South, man. He's a little thin, but hell of an athlete, man. Has a great mean streak. Think you might have got a flag on that one just for killing that kid in the backfield like that. But he's going to get upfield and finish these guys, man. Play in and play out. That's exactly his MO. So these are the guys that we need on this offensive line. We got to keep them home. And we got to start getting those big boys to stay home. Because that is where, you're really going to, see the tide turn for this USC football program. So that's some information, some film on Vlad Diakhnevov. Okay, now we're going to talk about Malachi Lee out of Hawaii. Top 15 offensive tackle in the country. Everybody's in the mix for this kid, as I talked about before. Michigan, Bama, Texas, us. We offered him in May. Then Michigan offered him in July. So, you know, we may have a little bit of an edge, but they have a prediction of Michigan. Who knows what can happen, man? I got faith in this new GM and this new administration that anything is possible recruiting-wise. I truly believe that. My confidence is at an all-time high when it comes to recruiting and being able to get any of these guys, right? So let's look at some of the Malachi Lee film. And yeah, let me talk about a couple things. All right, so we're gonna look at some Malachi Lee film here. This is a big time prospect, right? It's gonna go down to the wire. It's gonna be tough. It is great though. It's a good sign. You know, we are in the top 6. He dropped the top 6, I think, this week, and we are still in the top 6. He's talked about on 24/7, you know, his relationship with Coach Dog and Coach Nua, and you know how much he trusts and respects those guys to get him to that next step. Was out on campus at the Notre Dame game, said he enjoyed the atmosphere of the Collie, man, and enjoyed the experience. And you know, he linked up with Eliza Page, linked up with I think Aaron Dunn as well. There was pictures of that. And then Zach Hansen was back out in Hawaii on January 6th to pay him a visit, right? And he spoke. He said, "Hey, man, you know, I'm out here in Hawaii. I know it's a long trip, so I appreciate the fact that these guys make that long trip to come out to see me." And he feels like, you know, USC might be the spot to be, and I think it is a place to be, right? Like I said, man, this new GM, this new administration, this new recruiting staff, I believe the sky is the limit and anything is possible. So, you know, if we're light when it comes to the class of 2026, when it comes to that offensive tackle position, hey, man, Malachi Lee, we got space for you, brother. We got space for you, brother. And he's a big-time prospect. You see his ability, his mobility on that offensive line. Obviously, long arms, 6'7". Just a great athlete at that size. Still young, still a little bit developmental, but could be a big-time player. Here we are in the top 6, so only time will tell, you know, where we end up. But I'm feeling pretty confident when it comes to Malachi Lee becoming a Trojan. And that's it for this episode of Trench Talk. You know, hopefully USC can bring these guys into the fold and we can really get to see them on campus as Trojans. I mean, that would be fantastic. Hopefully we can build up this class of 2026 even more to get to that number 1 spot. And as always, guys, fight on. Appreciate you.